Let's talk about 3 stocks that could be set to break out soon. To do this, we will identify stocks that have reported at least 5 consecutive losing quarters but have now achieved positive net income. These stocks often do go on to see a rise in their market price following their first quarter of profitability, but please remember that is not guaranteed. Often retail investors like myself and yourself get the luxury of being able to invest into companies before Wall Street has, before big funds, big institutional money comes flowing in. And these are often because we invest into those companies that are not yet profitable or are only just profitable. And this is because quite often institutional money, the big funds, like your pension funds, they will not touch a stock, they will not invest into a company until it has been profitable for a certain period of time because it is just too risky in their eyes. But us retail investors, we like to take some risk sometimes. So investors that are willing to take on that risk, and remember you do have to do your own due diligence and actually see if it fits in with your investing strategy, but those that identify these stocks early on can actually benefit from the initial stages of growth. Also, companies that have only just become profitable can also increase investor confidence. It can signal a change in market sentiment, and this can mean that buying activity comes in, demand versus supply can then of course push the stock price up. Also, this shift that happens normally comes with improved overall fundamentals and increased market recognition, which again, more visibility because there's better fundamentals can lead to more purchasing, can increase the stock price. Okay, so I have a tool that I like to use for doing this that will help us identify these stocks. This tool is called Forecaster, and on this platform they have a feature called Break Even. And this will show us those stocks that after a period of 5 consecutive losing quarters have now managed to achieve their first quarter of profitability. But we are going to filter, you can filter by many countries here. We're going to focus on the United States because we want US stocks. As you can see, there's different columns across the top here. We've got the stock, we've got the ticker symbol, the country, the sector, the market cap, and the break-even quarter. And this leads me on to the first stock that could be set to break out soon. The first stock is Zscaler, ticker symbol ZS. Now, Forecaster is telling us that the break-even period for Zscaler was at the end of April, but the stock hasn't done anything crazy so far since. And often after profitability is actually reached, if it is sustained, then the stock can actually see increases happen slowly over time. It's not just a simple overnight thing. Let's just take a look at Tesla and Palantir, for example, to show what I mean here. Both of these companies, as you can see, have done very, very well since their first quarter of profitability. But remember, they have been able to sustain it. They've gone up over time, but not just instantly. They've gone up and down, short-term volatility is present. But those investors that purchased the stock when it first became profitable because they noticed that the shift was happening, and then the company was able to sustain profitability, these investors have done particularly well. Like I said, not guaranteed. So just in case you've never heard of Zscaler before, they are a tech stock, a tech company operating in the cloud security space. They focus on something that is called Secure Access Service Edge, SASE. SASE, I guess you could say, and also zero trust security models. Secure Access Service Edge integrates network and security functions to deliver secure access to applications regardless of the user's or application's location through the cloud. And then the zero trust security models, these do not inherently trust any entity inside or outside of a network. All users and all devices must be authenticated and authorized before accessing data and applications. And with the current landscape and the way things are progressing, with rising cloud adoption, remote working being more prominent, more prevalent, an increased number of cyber threats, the high cost of dealing with cybercrime. Due to all of these things, businesses are more willing than ever to actually spend money on solutions. Solutions like those that are being offered by Zscaler. And in fact, not only are they willing to spend money, but they're actively seeking them out. The security service edge market, in fact, is expected to grow at 20 to 30% over the next 5 years. And Zscaler have recently changed their sales strategy. So they are very much expecting to see an uptick in billings, not only from what they're doing internally, but also what's happening in the wider world. And in Q1 2024, they reported being net income positive, meaning they have made more money than they've spent and so took a profit. And profitability for us investors is incredibly important. So let's just take a look at how the stock has been performing. So year to date so far, they've not done all that well. They're actually down by about 11%. If we expand to a 1 year period, they're actually doing pretty well, 31.29%. 5-year, very, very well as well. But let's just have a look at where the breakout quarter actually happened. So on Forecaster, we learned that the breakout quarter was the 30th of the 4th, 2024. So let's find that here. So here we are, the 30th of April, 2024. Since then, the stock has gone up. It's gone up by just under 10%, 9.4%. But it hasn't done anything crazy. So it definitely has more room to grow, especially if they carry on showing us that they can continue to be profitable. We'll now move on to stock number 2. But if you want to try the Forecaster platform for yourself, I have got a link in the description below. That link, along with the code Haley10, will get you 10% off, but you can also do a 7-day free trial and see what you think. So stock number 2 that is possibly set to break out is Hasbro. This is a company within the consumer cyclical sector, and they are a global brand. They are a global play and entertainment company known for their wide range of toys, games, and media entertainment. Some brands that they own that you may know of include G.I. Joe, My Little Pony, and Play-Doh. They also own the games Monopoly and Dungeons and Dragons. So they are a global brand that are getting their revenue from different business areas. You should also know that they pay a dividend. The yield is 4.5% at the time of making this video, and they pay quarterly, meaning 4 times a year. They did well in the Q1 earnings and they showed profitability. Now they have been profitable in the past, but they've also undergone a long period where they haven't been profitable, but they are now profitable again. So taking a look at how the stock is doing, year to date, they are doing quite well, 16.55%. Over the last year, not so great, down by 8%. 5 years, again, not so great, down by 45%. So the breakout quarter on Forecaster is the 31st of March 2024. So let's actually find where that was and what has happened since. So since this time period, the stock hasn't really done anything, to be honest. It's up by about 2.9%, but it's pretty much been going sideways. If we max it out here, we can see that this company, this stock, has been taking a beating, and it is still currently trying to get back to all-time highs that happened in 2019. And this stock does basically do well when the economy does well. You know, when people are spending money. If times are tough, if the macroeconomic situation isn't favorable, people probably aren't going to be spending too much money on new games for their children or investing into the latest version of Monopoly. However, when the economy starts to pick up and people are spending more money, you know, falling interest rates, lowering inflation levels, the stock can do quite well. This company can start turning a bigger profit. Bank of America analysts are actually pretty optimistic about Hasbro's prospects, and they are expecting strong momentum into 2025. So if we pair what analysts are thinking with the fact that they've had their breakout quarter, they're starting to become profitable again, we know what the economy is doing, or at least, you know, we can keep a close eye on that. Could maybe this be one that is actually set to do quite well? Let me know what you think in the comments. But this outlook that Bank of America and other firms have on Hasbro include many different factors. Potentially, you know, new product releases that we could see from them, strategic initiatives that we could see, market conditions like I've just spoken about, actually favoring consumer discretionary spending, and so on. So now let's move on to our third stock. As you can see, it is a company called Western Digital Corporation, ticker symbol WDC. This one is a tech stock, but it's not a tech stock that gets as much visibility as some of the others out there. Not everyone knows about this one. They specifically operate within the subsector of data storage devices. The management team defines itself as a leading developer, manufacturer, and provider of data storage devices based on both NAND, flash, and hard drive technologies. Basically, they offer different types of storage solutions and also data center systems, cloud storage services, and they develop software and tools to help manage and optimize their storage devices. Interestingly, the Vanguard Group has recently been increasing their position into this stock, along with other hedge funds as well. So let's take a look at how the stock has been performing. And you can see that year to date, it's been doing very, very well. People that have been investing this year so far have got a very decent return. 1 year performance, again, fantastic. Do let me know if you actually own this position, because I've not personally heard about anyone that has this one in their portfolio. 5 years, it's been very, very rocky. Lots and lots of ups and downs, but overall up by 61%. So Forecaster is telling us that the breakout quarter for Western Digital Corporation happened on the 29th of March 2024. So actually, since then, the stock has done relatively well, up by 12.28%. So actually, it's already done pretty well. And this rise in the stock price that Western Digital Corporation have already seen is partly due to the fact that they have shown profitability. They've had a few periods, at least 5 quarters, of being unprofitable, but that's now changed and the breakout quarter has happened and the stock has done decently since. But also we've got to factor into this stock that there has been many tech companies that have done particularly well. We've had AI hype, and also there has been a general higher demand for memory products. And also, just because the stock has already increased, it doesn't mean it's then going to fall and it can't increase even more to, new all-time highs. But it also doesn't mean that it won't do that. That's why doing your own research, thinking about your own investing time horizon, and doing your own deep due diligence is so important before adding any position. I was having a little bit of a deeper look into Forecaster and what some of the previous positions that has been highlighted as having a breakout quarter have done since that point. And I want to show you one example. So you can see Micron Technology here, and the breakout quarter was the 29th of February 2024. So let's just see what the stock has actually done since that date. And like I said, once a company reaches profitability or they've had a period of time where they've not been net income positive and then there's a shift, that can often, as long as they sustain it, lead to increases slowly over time with short-term volatility in place as well. But let's just take a look at what's happened. So Micron has actually been a success of finding stocks that have had their breakout quarter, and it's a real current example. It's happening really recently and it was on that list. So let me just show you this right now. So year to date, up by 60.59%. So let's just find out when it actually had the breakout quarter. So it was at the end of February 2024. So here. So since then, it's up by 46%. And over the last 1 year, it's nearly returned 100%. Now, obviously, you can see that actually before its breakout quarter, it was doing, somewhat quite well. But since then, it's really started to take off. And that might be, because of the AI hype, because of tech stocks doing very well. But it also might be because investors are noticing this shift in profitability and they are becoming more interested. They are having more confidence in this position, in this company to handle their operations over time. But of course, this is not the only thing that you should be looking at. You should be looking at the leadership, what the company is working on, the products, their sales methods, the fundamentals, and everything else. And I do have a whole research workshop that will help you with this if you need it in the description below. Do let me know if you own any of these stocks in your own portfolio, and if you want to try Forecaster out, you can using my link in the description. That link, along with the code Haley10, will get you 10% off, and also you can try it out 7 days for free. As always, keep investing, keep analyzing, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.